Welcome back to the channel, Outriders. Today we have another legendary showcase. This is the Roaring Umbra. Now, it's like somebody lazily decided to camouflage. Oh no, Dad's coming. Hide the LMG and slapped a couple leaves on the top of it. It's a really kind of weird looking gun, but I like it anyways. I don't know why. It's kind of caveman-y. Some Crudes vibes. But Kinetic Stomp is the tier 3 mod, and it's not a bad one. It's not one that you necessarily can notice is going off. You kind of have to pay attention to the ground. It's almost like a little shockwave, a little pulse. And you'll just notice when it bursts when you see it. I've decided to accompany it with a couple of different options. I experimented with the Comet and some others, and I definitely found where this gun shines, and I am a big fan of it, surprisingly. Now, I don't think this is one that I would recommend people to use for DPS builds, right? It's not a terrible gun. It's an LMG. It'll get the job done. But it doesn't get the job done well. There's, 100 other alternatives that are definitely going to do better for you. Where I think this gun shines is for Anomaly and tank builds. And fortunately, there's a lot of great options out there, but this one is easily growing to be one of my favorite options for a few different reasons, and I want to explain why. Number one, the Roaring Umbra, that mod, that tier 3 mod that comes with it is pretty decent. And a lot of people tend to rush you when you're a tank or when you're Anomaly, and that's one of those areas where you are generally vulnerable when the melee guys jump on you or something. So that really helps keep them at bay and honestly chunk them down. But I can also play aggressively. As you can see, I'm running right at the enemy, hoping this thing procs, and I'm just doing damage to him. So it works very well for a tanky build or somebody that wants to get up in the face as well, but also it has kind of a little bit of a perk of defensiveness behind it. So there's a lot of other Anomaly guns out there that you can put 2 mods on that do great over distance, and you can kind of keep really good, around 500,000 damage into them with the right combination for some distance ones. This one's great for an in-your-face method, for a more of a tank-viable Anomaly option. So this is definitely like a bottom tree kind of gun. I don't think you need to build firepower at all from this thing, and it does a decent amount of damage, and one of the things that I think really separates this one from some of the other options out there for the Anomaly builds, for the no firepower builds, is that this one is an LMG. It's got a large capacity, and, because so many of those really bursty options that do like 250,000 damage based on a hit or a crit hit or a kill, I think this one is really unique because it allows you to keep spamming that and keeping that out there. You don't have to wait on the reloads. You can get more burst out of it and more utility out of it. And the fact that these work on shots, and I decided to go with the right perk and make sure that crit shots came through, you can noticeably see the burst. So even if I drop blighted rounds, which is going to happen with this gun, you could see chunks of health. Without blighted rounds, it's still a decent weapon to use. And the crazy part about the whole thing is that people are starting to experiment with Anomaly builds, and I think this is a great candidate for anyone to try to, because it's good at range and it's good at close quarters. It's got some flexibility if you'd like it. But I just simply do love it. Again, I'd advise against using this in a DPS standard, especially if you're using any volcanic rounds or blighted rounds or anything like that. You are occasionally probably going to drop the rounds. It's okay in damage, but it doesn't hit that hard. But fortunately, you've got a large gap if you're using like toxic lead or whatever. But if you're trying to put something else on it, it's just simply not going to do well with it. And that's just my advice for you. This definitely thrives in an Anomaly build or a bottom tree build or possibly a tank build. And I think you need to utilize and put the right mods on there that are going to allow you to detonate the enemies, explode the enemies, and spread area damage and AoE on the enemies, and that's where it thrives. So thank you again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a very unique gun because you can get aggressive, like right in their face with it, and not a lot of Anomaly options do that, and this one gives you that freedom. So thanks again for all the love. Shadow Comet will be a great option. Anything along the lines of that, huge for this gun. Thanks again. Subscribe if you're new here. Tick that bell so you never miss a future legendary showcase, and I'll catch you with another one soon.